The way that I like to think of it is this random generator is almost my idea starter. You can just smash the random button if you have no idea what you're going for. Hey, what's going on, guys? Sully here, and I am back with another tutorial and Ableton sound generator for y'all. Today, I'm going to be walking through a 303 acid bassline generator that I made using Ableton 12. If you're a Patreon member, you can get this instrument rack for free, along with some presets and a little sample pack that I made using the generator. Before we dive into all the technicalities here, I want to briefly go over the layout of this generator. The first thing that you're going to see is the sound customization panel. This is going to be where we control everything about the tone, the pitch, the distortion, where we turn the sequencer on and off, where we turn the randomizer on and off. So this is going to be the front-facing panel of the generator. If we move to the right here, we have a free Max for Live plugin called Sting 64. This is going to be very important to download because this is going to be how you randomly generate notes when we want to use that option. And then I have an ARP here that is going to help generate our sequencer. The next thing over is going to be a random velocity output, giving each note in the sequencer a random set velocity. Then we have our sequencer here. The sequencer is going to be where you can program your own notation based on the rate of the arpeggiator. For example, we have this sequencer set up by default, and I'm going to be playing it at a 1/8 note rate at 100 beats per minute, and this is what it sounds like. So if I wanted to change that. So this is going to be where you can customize your own pattern. The next bit is the scaler. So this is where you can set your own custom scale. By default, I have it set up in Phrygian because that is what a lot of bass music is written in. And out of all the testing that I've done, I've gotten the best results in Phrygian. The next bit here is going to be the master MIDI output. By default, no matter what key you're in or striking, so if you're hitting a G, an F, it's going to default back to C, unless you change this master pitch. Let's say you want to write your bass line in D, you need to go up 2 semitones because by default, remember, it's going to be in C. So in order to change scale, always refer back to this pitch knob. The next thing is going to be a master velocity output, where I'm just controlling the range of the velocities because they're being randomized here. The last device is this note length. This is where you can customize legato, in between notes, or the length of notes. For example, if I have this note latch on, you'll hear all the notes kind of gliding in between each other, and there's always legato on. Where if it's off, we can control the length of the notes in the sequencer. So this is where you can just kind of customize the feel and the master output of each of those notes. So this could be really fun to automate as well. The next bit is our serum patch. This is where the bass is being generated. I'm just customizing a acid bass, and there's a bunch of macros leading to our master timbre knobs over on the left here in the beginning panel. You can come into this patch and customize it however you'd like, but this is by default how it's set up. And then that bass patch is being ran into some post-processing where I am also doing some, distortion, overdrive, OTT, glue compression, just to give the sound a little bit of color and body. All right, so next I want to walk through how I would use this rack and show you guys all the specific functionality. The first thing I want to point out is I have all of these presets in both the front-facing panel, where you can customize the sound. And then I also have presets for the sequencer over here. So let's flip through some of these presets here. And then let's combine that with some of the sequencer presets. There's also a default preset here for the sequencer if you want to program it yourself. In addition to that, on both of these panels, you can just smash the random button if you have no idea what you're going for. So let's just smash both of them. And get something totally random and work from there. I do want to point out that a few of the settings on the front-facing panel are not going to be hooked up to the randomize knob, and that's going to include the sequencer on-off button, the master pitch, the note glide, and the sequencer rate. So no matter what, those will not be randomized. In addition to that, let's say you start with a preset, but you want it to evolve over time. You can also just automate these parameters, and let's just draw in a few here. And then you can have this evolving sound over the course of a certain time period. Let's back up and talk about turning the sequencer on and off. So by default, the sequencer will be on, but we also have this option where you can just turn it off. When the sequencer's turned off, this Max for Live device called Sting 64 turns on. So Sting 64 is not included in Ableton 12 or Ableton 11 or anything like that, but it is a free Max for Live plugin that's going to make this chain run a lot smoother. I'm going to leave a download link in the description so you guys can grab that on your own time. And this will automatically generate MIDI data based on the settings that you're using. So we have this note density macro here that will increase or decrease the amount of notes in the sequence. So we can randomize with the sequencer turned off and get a completely new pattern each time. So let's smash this a few times and see what kind of results that we get. Super cool. One of the most practical ways that I like to use this rack is to use the randomizer, but then record the MIDI data out. Let me show you what I mean. Let's load up a new MIDI channel, select the input to be the random acid bass generator, arm the record button, select post effects here, and then hit record. So now we have that MIDI data to work with. What we can do is just copy the bassline generator over, delete all of this MIDI data because we don't need it anymore. And then we can just start smashing the random button again until we get a tone that we like. And then we can even go in and tweak the MIDI pattern to our liking, save the MIDI pattern, save the patch, whatever you want to do. The way that I like to think of it is this random generator is almost my idea starter, and then I use the same patches to polish the ideas. I'm also going to be including a little sample pack for free where you guys can use some of the loops that I've generated in your own songs. So there you have it, guys. That is my Acid 303 bassline generator using Ableton 12. Let me know what kind of generators you guys would want me to take a stab at next. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you dug this video. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much.